Thanks everyone for coming tonight. When I was thinking about obsession and how it relates to my work, this drawing, Tokyo Taxi Reflection from 2023, came to mind. For me, it encapsulates about 15 years honing my cross-hatching and stippling skills, and best demonstrates the obsessive nature of my drawing techniques working with pen and ink. This drawing took about 2 to 3 weeks to make. The process begins with a pencil outline, then I work on inking in sections and shapes at a time, gradually building up layers of cross-hatching, working on the darkest areas first, and then finishing with lighter areas of stippling. All of my inked line work is drawn freehand, and over time, I like that reaction, I've developed a bit of muscle memory, which helps me draw straight lines and generally place the pen nib in the right spot. When I'm on a bit of a roll and the ink's flowing well, it can feel a bit meditative. The tools I use every day, which I'm also a bit obsessive about, Dr. Martin's Black Star ink, a mechanical pencil, an eraser, my Rotring Rapidograph pens with a very fine 0.25mm nib. I've used this setup for about a decade and that's doing all right so far. My obsession with drawing has guided me to many varied and exciting places within 2 distinct but connected areas. One being the field of illustration work and the other in the art gallery space. First off, I'll share a few of my favourite illustration projects and collaborations with you. This is, coming up, is the cover of a Good Weekend magazine from The Age and Sydney Morning Herald. It's a moody piece for an article about a trend in parents bullying teachers. These cover opportunities are very rare for illustrators like myself because they usually go with photos or something a little bit more slick and digital. So this was a fantastic job to be offered. Kudos to my illustration agent, Katie. I've been fortunate to illustrate the covers of books by author Nova Wheatman, The Edge of 13 and Sunny and Tess, both written for teens, and a memoir, Love, Death and Other Stories. Nova's fantastic to work with. Her directions are very specific, but she also allows me a lot of freedom. In 2018, I illustrated a book called Rocking the System, Irish Women Who Made History. Here are 4 of the 22 portraits in the book: the revolutionary Constant Markowitz, the poet Peig Sayers, former President Mary Robinson, and the suffragette Hannah Skeffington. On the cover is a drawing of Bernadette Devlin. I'm very proud of my work contributing to Saban's book, and it was an extra thrill when the publisher sent me that photo up here of the book on display in the window of Ireland's oldest bookshop, Hodges Figgis, celebrating 100 years of Votes for Women. Another thrill was being commissioned to create 3 illustrated scenes of the Meredith Music Festival Supernatural Amphitheatre, printed on tea towels and also appearing large-scale backstage at the artist entrance, as seen here behind Laura from the band Krungben. The other area where my work exists is in the art gallery setting. The space between was an exhibition at Outre Gallery in Fitzroy in 2020. A series of work made following a trip to Japan with my partner Kelly, visiting Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto, Miyajima and Hiroshima. I created drawings depicting memories of those places with from the many photos we took. And I worked on these drawings during the very strange days of the pandemic. Looking back, I feel like there was a shift in my work, much more detail and density and cross-hatching. There was not much else to do. 2022 and my solo exhibition, Streets of Your Town, at the Art Gallery of Ballarat. It featured drawings such as this one, a winter laneway, depicting recognisable but less celebrated buildings and streets in contemporary Ballarat. The exhibition seemed to be well received by locals and visitors alike. Some popular favourites shown up next. On the left, Ballarat's iconic L'Espresso Cafe, formerly known as Black Swan Records, Main Road and the legendary Joyce's Junketique signage, and the block of Deco-style flats on Albert Street, which should be familiar to a lot of people. Following this exhibition, I was commissioned to draw Selkirk House, which is on Windermere Parade. It was designed by Robin Boyd in 1960 and it was built in 1964. It was slated for demolition around 2014, but thankfully it was saved and expertly and lovingly restored by a local architect and his family, Alan Morton. Here's another commissioned drawing I worked on for Alan, the beautiful office facade of Morton & Co., the architects in Sturt Street. And from around the same time, next to it here is a commissioned drawing for the Ballarat Mechanics Institute of their wonderful building down on the other side of Sturt Street. I've worked on many commissioned drawings of homes in Ballarat and Melbourne, from small houses to grand apartment buildings from different eras. And I really enjoy working on these special artworks for people, and I love to witness the joy they bring when I deliver the drawings to them in person. Back to Outre Gallery in 2024 and an exhibition titled Tatyville. It was a series celebrating the cinema of French actor and director Jacques Tati. You'll notice a few pops of colour in these drawings. They're nods to the modernist sets of films such as Mon Uncle and Playtime. And in September last year, Ross Creek Gallery hosted my exhibition Things Near, Places Dear, a personal and eclectic mix of drawings exploring the familiar objects in my life such as my ink bottle and the Kit Kat clock, and also sentimental places like the gardens in Hiroshima and Indigo Falls at Yakandanda. So finally, we come full circle with another obsessively detailed drawing of a car, the old Holden Premier in my late Uncle Leo's shed. This drawing's busy shed wall of tools resonated with many at the Ross Creek show, depicting a different form of obsession, but one familiar to many. Thank you very much.